apathy is the biggest challenge for the carers and the biggest diminishing factor of quality of life for the resident. You might recognize the sight of someone, an older person living with dementia in a care home, sitting still by himself and doing absolutely nothing. He might be staring out of the window, but there's very little emotion reflecting on someone's face, very little physical activity, let alone social interaction. This is what we call apathy. And apathy is the biggest challenge in the care for people with dementia. And we talk about dementia care in the last phases, but actually apathy or inactivity plays a role throughout the entire journey of dementia, and even before that. Because you and me, we have a role in our own dementia journey already by living a full life, very physically active, a lot of social connections, maybe some cultural experiences. We can prevent our onset of dementia, or we can delay our onset of dementia. We cannot prevent ourselves from getting sick, but the first signs of dementia might come a little bit later. One of the first parts of your brain that gets affected by the disease is your prefrontal cortex. And in this front part of your brain lies your ability to take initiative, but also your capabilities of planning several steps in a process. And obviously this sets the rules to do something. So getting out of your chair, motivating yourself to go for a walk or maybe doing some sports, but also going to a store and plan your shopping routine, getting there, getting the right groceries, pay for your groceries and come back home. All these, for us, easy activities become challenges. And if some of these activities go wrong, maybe one or twice, you can get nervous, maybe insecure. You're losing the grip on your own daily lives. So this insecurity will probably prevent you to go out and try it again. And what is very interesting is that family members can play a major role in these daily activities, both positive and negative. So most family members visit their father or their mother suffering from dementia more often to maybe go out for a walk, take them out grocery shopping. And this is of huge benefit of the person themselves, because he will get outside, experience the weather, know what season it is, become more physically active and actually have the experience that someone loves. But a family member will also pick up that there will be new dangers in not being able to find back the route home, or maybe have balance issues and maybe fall, or there's several new dangers that we might not ever think about. So family members can also have, in a way, a prohibiting factor or role in someone's activities just for the sake of protecting the person. So I have an interesting example that I heard the other day, that an older lady loved cycling. And she was cycling in the neighborhood and did all these little tours. And she was in the early stage of the process and she might lose the route or the way back home. And actually her son took away the bike just to protect her because he loves her. But that obviously prohibited her to go out and do her little mission around the block or go out in the park to see the world and go on a cycling trip. Obviously, as the disease progresses, people get more dependent on care. So we try to let people live at home as long as we can. So there's a lot of personal care, a lot of family members that help out, but there will always be a moment that it's unfortunately not possible anymore. And that moment is a little bit later in the journey of dementia, and then people most often move to a care home. Living in a care home, also apathy is the biggest challenge for the carers and the biggest diminishing factor of quality of life for the resident. So what I mentioned before, sitting still and not being able, not moving anymore, will make your muscles stiff and your joints will get stiffer, and probably your balancing and your motoric skills will also diminish more and more, and that will only prevent you to become active and try it again. And also socially. So their social environment becomes so much smaller because they're not living next to their old neighbor anymore, and that impacts their emotions. So there's a lot of loneliness, a lot of depression, and it's hard to maintain that social, that vibrant life that we used to. And also on a cognitive perspective. So what we see is that when people sit still and are not actively engaged anymore, that the brain damage is actually, or the brain is deteriorating even faster, which obviously has all the negative effects that we know. And what we see, well, actually we spoke about the inability to take their own initiative. So that means to be active and to stay active, you need someone, may it be a carer or a family member, to actually guide you through the activity. You need a one-on-one support to take someone out for a walk or do a game, but constantly remind and reactivate someone to play along. And that is a huge challenge. We already now, there's such a shortage in carers that it is so difficult to provide all the residents with enough personal attention. And it will only become worse. In the next 20 years, the number of people with dementia will double. So you can imagine that the challenges and the gap in personal attention and personal contact will only get bigger. So obviously the carers have an important role, but they need support. So they get obviously support from informal carers, from family members, but this is also the place that other companies can contribute. So there's more and more startups that design beautiful products that play a role in this activation and stimulation, especially when there's too little care for them. And we call that warm technology. And it's all about the application of new technologies that help the carers to provide the residents with the best possible care. And that's also why I get up in the morning. So we develop serious games, and the goal of the games is to reduce apathy. So we stimulate residents to become physically active, but do it together, play in a group, so that they also have the social interaction and laugh about the same things and talk about memories of the past. And we're also demanding their cognition to work and bring up memories or play small games, simple games. And that's all to evoke those little moments of fun, of recognition, of pride. And we call them moments of happiness. And every single moment or happy moment in a day of people with dementia, we should fight for.